Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I meet to Madam Hayati and my friends, and I am the Fazeera binti Mohd Nazri, and my partner Nuralia Syafiqah binti Nazri will be presenting about a resource education based on a problem that we found from our research. So next, the problem that based on our research, we found a problem that is a company plan to build an application. So the team, technical team, analyzed that it should be involved to find a software and hardware needs. So at first the management need approvals, which means they need to write a letter of approval and send it to a different management levels. And then the next part, the project team has to determine the timetable for activities and tasks that needed to perform the project, and also determine the resources that needed in the project. Next, we have listed out the activities that needed to perform the project. So as the first one, as you can see on the table, the process need to be designed, which take about 5 days, and then obtain the management approvals and send it to the different management levels. Then on the design part, they can start to find an open source software for the design of the application, so that they can start the design of the application, which take about 8 days in total. And then they have to link the application with an external documents that needed to be added in the application, which take about 4 days. And then design the checking logic, that is about 2 days. And then after finish the design, they can test the application and then can train the users to adapt with the application, which take about 8 days. And then we can perform CPM calculations to know which is the critical path during performing the project. And then from the activity that we listed out, we express in an IUN diagram based on the preceding activities that been stated from the table. So as you can see, from activity A, after activity A can be ended, B, C, D can be start, and then from B, activity E can be start, and from C and D, activity F can be start. When activity D, the last day can be performed, F can start. So that after that, from activity E and activity F, activity J can begin, which are the test application. And then lastly, the application can be tested on the activity H, which ends at day 20. So as you can see, the project can be end at day 20. And after performing the critical path method calculation, we can see that A, D, F, G, H is the critical path of this project. In the next part, we allocate the number of labor for each activities. So as the first one, for activity A, the design process need 5% to perform the activity. And then to obtain the management approvals, only 1% needed. And then activity C, only 3%. Design application, we need 5%. And then the link application with external document in the application. For activity E, we need 2% to perform this task. And then design the checking logic, 5% needed. And to test the application and train the users, we need about 5 person in total. So that after that, we can know the labor utilization in a day. So we determine that in a day, the labor should not be exceed 9% per day at one time.
The next step is to perform a Gantt chart of the activities by referring to the node network diagram AON. As you can see, the Gantt chart includes activities, the duration which is last for 20 days and labor per day. For activity A, it starts from day 1 to day 5 with 5 labors per day. Activity B, C and D starts after activity A completed with 1 labor per day, 3 labors per day and 5 labors per day respectively. Activity E starts after activity B completed with the duration of 4 days, start from day 8 to day 11 with 2 labors per day. Then activity F starts after activity C and D completed with 5 labors per day for 2 days. Activity G starts after activity E and F completed with 5 days of duration and 3 labors per day. And lastly, activity H starts from day 18 to day 20 with 2 labors per day. From question 2, we need to allocate and level the resources so that the amount of labor not exceed 9 per day. From the Gantt chart, the amount of labor per day for each column from day 1 to day 20 is added to get the total amount of labor per day. And as you can see, on day 8, it has 10 labors per day, which exceed the required condition. Hence, we need to move the activity, either activity C or activity E, because activity C and E is non-critical activity. The resource on activity E is chosen to be allocated, and we need to allocate the resource either forward or backward direction. And as you can see from the Gantt chart, on day 6 and day 7, the total amount of labor per day is already 9 labor. Hence, we need to allocate the resource forward on the column which will not exceed 9 labor per day. And lastly, this is the new Gantt chart after we solve the problems. We allocate the resource on activity E on day 12, which give the total labor is 7 labor per day and it is not exceed 9 labor per day. So that's all from us. Thank you.